2025 more like 2020 guys. Your favorite three guys, the Pod Boys, Ben, Tease, and Cleve. We're here. Well, one of us is queer. Get used to it. And if you don't know which one it is, then
you don't know us very well.
You don't know us very well, or
that's okay. Come meet us.
You can spend this episode guessing because hey, it's we're on the cusp of a new year, folks, and this is going to be our annual predictions episode. Well, the first half of 2025 predictions, looking at the landscape of horror movies in the first half of the new year, but this new year brings some larger new things for the podcast. We have some news and a little bit of business to discuss first. Business. Yeah, some bittersweet news to share. If you're in our Discord, you may know this already, but this will be our final episode, all three of us recording together in person for the foreseeable future. Cleveland is moving away from us. Cleveland is moving back to sweet home Alabama and leaving our baby boy is leaving the nest.
Yep.
And he's flying away from us.
Yep. Just personal circumstances. Trust me, I do not want to move to Alabama. But here we are.
Hey, at least you'll have more opportunities to say "Roll Tide" again.
I mean,
and people won't look at you like you're fucking insane.
Well, as they also say, ain't nothing but the tide. I'm always saying that shit.
Roll Tide, roll. But, fear not, dear listener. This is not the end of the podcast.
No.
We wouldn't just fucking shoehorn that in like that. That would be insane. But we are moving to a new format. We'll be recording remotely from now on.
Yeah, and it's not even the end of Cleveland. He'll
No.
I'll stick around.
So. I mean, I think that just for the show in general, like there will be a sort of transitory stage as we sort of figure this out over the next couple of months. But we probably won't even be missing any episodes. If Cleveland is not always able to join us, then at least Ben and I will be doing it together and maybe have some guests.
Guest episodes, those have always been a hit. So.
Yeah, so nothing is inherently changing in that regard, but switching to a remote format does give us some opportunities to try new things with the show. We are sort of discussing ways to incorporate a video element into the show that we'll make available to our Patreon subscribers. We've got some ideas. That's probably not going to roll out right away, but you should hopefully see some form of that before too long. At least maybe it's just recording our episodes on webcam and posting the raw audio up on Patreon. We might just start there.
Yeah, and I think again, regardless, it means more sweet content for the Patreon, right?
Yes, so if you've been considering maybe joining our Patreon, now we're giving you some more reasons too, and I think that, we've discussed making, this video element, available to all tiers, the lowest tier as well.
Yeah, and we're even floating the idea of maybe starting a bonus episode at some point. We're still hashing out kind of ideas on that front. But we will be a lot of opportunities out of this,
and I think we're going to be talking about a lot of that in our Discord with our current members as well, and getting some ideas and thoughts around that. So hey, if you want to be a part of that discussion, maybe now's a good time to join the Patreon and get in the Discord for only $5 a month. It's free real estate.
Well,
it's not free.
It's paid real estate.
It's real estate.
Cheap real estate.
It's cheap real estate. Yeah, there we go.
But we're trying to get some false advertising in there.
It's so cheap, it might as well be free.
But it's not. But it is not. It is not. It costs money, and it's worth it, I think.
And it's about to be more worth it. It's about to be more worth it than ever.
Yeah.
So
we've got a good group in there too. Everyone knows each other's names. So
it's been a small but dedicated group till now, and it's a good time to join. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the bulk of our housekeeping. The sad news that Cleveland is leaving us, but the good news that Cleveland is not leaving the podcast, and we're going to be trying some new stuff. So. Hopefully...
Dead can never die.
Yeah, what is dead can never die, but rises again harder and stronger.
And full of farts.
Game of Thrones, folks.
What was the Michael Caine tweet again? Batman Begin.
Batman Begin. Why do we fall but to get back up again? Batman Begin.
Batman Begin.
And with that, we should Batman begin this episode
Yes.
of the podcast. The reason we got that news out of the way first is because we've slightly changed the format of our predictions this year. Just because, Cleveland might not be on every, especially new movie episode at the beginning of the year, just because Alabama does not get as many movies as we do here.
Yes.
So it's...
my access to films will be limited. There is not a movie theater in my town. There is one...
in a neighboring town.
Yeah, at the edge of the town over. So, yeah, it's a bit of a drive to it.
But so because of that, we have pulled out our usual predictions that sort of rely on all three of us having seen the movie, collective rating, which one of us will like the movie best and stuff. But Ben has come up with a couple of...
Unfortunately, we're all really good at pulling out, so you won't even notice.
Yeah, exactly. We just have some different categories this year, things that are a little bit more objective that any of us can still get points on regardless of whether we see the movie.
Yeah, there's two main real new categories. There's the Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter.
So we're guessing audience scores now
which
too.
is audience scores.
Which is something that I'm way less confident in my predictions.
I have a
It is
feeling
fun.
it's going to make me upset.
Yes.
I had a very fun time filling that out. I think of all the things that you gave us on our very, very nicely formatted Google form to make things easy, Ben, I appreciate that. Of all the things we went to fill out on that, I almost always got a chuckle over kind of guessing between the two. It forced me to go back over some previous films and see, and I think there's good discussion there as well, because we usually do talk about both scores and, where we sort of lie, which is often somewhere between the two.
Audiences tend to like slop, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be stuff we love that gets a low audience score.
But there are so many times, too, where we bat off kind of critic bait, or we, tend to be more in favor of something than critics are, or vice versa, or more in line
the
with
thing that makes
audiences.
the thing that makes it really tricky for me is that the audience score is pulling from a much wider data set than the critic one is. So I feel like it's much less predictable in that regard.
Well, this is a good...
Maybe not necessarily.
This is a good segue, because I think you're right. And that's why I think at the end of the half of the year, I'm going to go back and get the final scores for everything. Because
so we can compare and see how it changes.
After opening weekend, when we see these movies, it's going to be the most dedicated people that are going to see it. So the audience score will probably go down over time, I'm assuming.
Does happen.
But that's a nice segue, because the second new category, I think, is also one I can't really tally up until the very end.
Right.
And that's how many weekends a movie is going to be in the theaters.
Wide release.
Yes, wide release.
A thing I've hardly ever thought about before, so I had to do some research beforehand, and I still think I got it super wrong across the board.
This was a tough one for me to predict too. I sort of just went with my gut based off of vibes. I realized as I was thinking about it how little attention that I have paid to movies staying in theaters as well.
Yeah, it's mostly vibes, but also kind of seasonality. Like,
That
summer
too.
movies aren't going to be in the theaters for as long because they're going to put a bunch of new shit in there. But,
See, I think my predictions kind of went the other way around. That that summer is going to have bigger movies that more people are going to see, so they're going to have a longer tail.
They're going to be hits. And
they're going to be hits, and they're going to stay in the
Okay.
theater for a while. Whereas a lot of the fuck you, it's January stuff that we've got on here is going to taper out real quick.
I also put tapers on January.
I think both are valid. I'll be curious to see how stuff.
This is
shake
something
out.
we've never predicted before, and I have not put a ton of thought into. So this is going to be
Learning experience.
This is a wild card one, which I think is going to make it particularly fun.
Yeah.
And it's also, some of the other ones that we've done before, we know each other's taste, so it's kind of easy to predict, who's going to like what they're going to score at based off how they do other stuff. But, some of this stuff I feel like is
None of these
a little bit more fickle.
we can't influence any of these
Correct.
predictions.
These are all hard numbers, baby.
Yeah.
So I think we should get into it. We
Yeah.
have 12 movies that we predicted out of 10.
Yes.
10. Oh, that's right. You had some bonus stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Out of how many did you put in the Patreon for people to vote
I
on?
want to say there were
Or the
like
Discord?
16, 15
Okay,
or
yeah,
16.
something like that.
We
Let our Discord members, our honorary pod boys, and so on vote on what they want to hear us cover.
Yeah.
Some stuff in here I'm not super
So in
happy
addition
about.
to these 10, there's 3 from the second half of the year that will carry over.
Oh, yeah,
There's
that's right.
Nosferatu, The Shrouds, and Return of Silent Hill, if that ever comes out.
Ever.
But yeah, those will be rolled in, but we won't cover them today on the podcast.
Yep.
We have those. So the first movie is Wolfman. Comes out January 17th.
Soon.
Yes. We've been getting a lot of trailers for it.
yes.
Directed by James Wan.
No, Leigh Whannell.
Lee Winnell. It's produced by James Wan.
yes.
Directed by Lee Winnell, who did Invisible Man and Upgrade. Both great movies.
Yeah, both surprisingly good
Bops and
movies.
bangers. Yeah, I love them both.
Yeah.
Especially Invisible Man. I have seen that movie a few times.
Yeah, I had
so
such low expectations for that movie. But I feel like it's kind of set my expectations for this movie
A little too high.
a little bit higher.
I think so
Okay,
too.
interesting. Let's start with box office. What do you guys think? Cleve, you can start.
50 mil. I went very high, but I think I brought it down a little bit from Invisible Man.
Did Invisible Man do that good opening weekend? That came out during COVID.
Um,
Or no, was it right before COVID?
right before.
It was right before
So
the
it was
COVID
like
lockdown.
literally like it was during. It was like at the top. So basically, it came out. It had a great opening weekend, and then COVID hit. And so there were a
COVID
lot- I think I want to say that's right. You don't quote me.
I
on
think
that,
Invisible Man came out the first weekend of March, and the COVID lockdowns, at least here, started at the very beginning of April.
Yeah.
So there's about a month before. This might be the Invisible Man might have been the last movie we saw in
No,
theaters
that
before
was
COVID.
The Hunt.
The Hunt.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie.
But yeah, so like I think it did have a very short a very short like number of weeks it was in theaters, but it did have like it did pretty well, I want to say. I don't know, I kind of adjusted. I
50
feel like
mil is very, very
it's
good.
very, very good. Yeah, hold on, let me just you guys go and I'll Google what it was again.
I said 18 million.
I said 15 million.
Like it's mid-January. It's not competing against much. I do think it's kind of nice that it's probably going to have some overlap with Nosferatu, so you get like two classic Universal monsters in
Yeah,
the theater
that's
at the
fun.
same time. Might make for a good double feature. I wonder if there's some strategy in that release. But even so, January movies just don't make as much at the theater as they did pre-COVID. So like, I feel like one of the only movies that we talked about this year that made 50 mil opening weekend was like,
Yeah, I mean,
Quiet
don't get me
Place.
wrong. I would love this to make 50 mil opening.
oh
weekend.
yeah, me too.
But I feel like at the same time with the trailer, it hasn't gotten me as excited.
I wasn't that excited for Invisible Man based off those trailers.
That's true.
So
All
Well,
right, yeah, so I
anyways.
looked it up. Invisible Man, the director's previous film, during its open weekend in the United States and Canada, it did 28 million.
okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think I might have looked that up and based mine a little bit lower because
it's in January. It's the
It's
right call. I think you did. I
January.
think you made that call right. I think I'm wrong. I'm remembering now. The reason I bumped it up, frankly, way too much is because I was thinking Wolfman might be more accessible. It might be like kind of a better pull. I don't know.
I almost feel like it's going to have like slightly diminishing returns even though it's not like literally a sequel to The Invisible Man. Like it is just another modern remake by the same director of a classic Universal monster movie. So it feels like at least like kind of a spiritual successor, right?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of like especially horror sequel stuffs tend to sort of have diminishing returns.
It's not in the Universal Dark Universe though.
Thank God. But honestly, though, like I'm fine with letting Lee Whannell keep making these movies. He seems to have a good sense for it. Well, we'll see with this one.
Well, I mean, at least again with Invisible Man, he certainly did. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go Rotten Tomato critics.
The tomato meter.
I think critics will like this one. I said 86.
I said 88.
I said 85.
We're all in the ballpark.
Very close.
Invisible Man still has a critical rating of like 92%, like very high. I kind of did the same thing, like slightly diminishing returns, pull it back just a little bit, you know, but I don't know.
For audience, I said 83.
I said 82.
80.
We're all on both of them. We're within like 3. Yeah, I think audiences
like
will
that.
also like this just slightly less than critics.
4 weeks.
4 weeks
4 weeks
in the theater.
That's what I said.
Because it's January, longer tail.
It's not competing with much. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they'll just leave it in there. It'll still be in a few theaters, you know? Like,
Well, see, I thought most January stuff shorter tail, but this is the kind of movie like it's from it's from a bigger studio, like it's got some budget.
Invisible Man did pretty well because of word of mouth.
That too.
So, like, I think second and third weekend they did pretty well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was the same.
I could see it. I could see it.
So, okay, next I had miscellaneous predictions. I said predict something about the movie. Very open-ended. I said there's going to be a sequel setup showing that there's more Wolfmen out there.
And the sequel will be called Wolfmen.
Yeah.
I actually went in a similar tangent. I said this will be successful enough to greenlight the third entry in Lee Whannell's Man trilogy.
man.
I don't know what the third one will be. Honestly, I would love to see him do like a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake.
Too.
But I know Guillermo del Toro has been talking about wanting to do one of those for a while. Like,
I mean, he already
like he
has,
does.
basically. Like,
Shape of Water, yeah.
Shape of Water. Age
Honestly,
Safety.
that's probably what that turned into now that I think about it.
Man,
but,
very possible. I like his take. My predict one thing is going in line with Invisible Man. I put Wolf Woman.
oh, okay.
Yeah, the trailer shows spoilers. The husband.
Yeah, he's
I think.
the one who gets
I think
that, yeah.
also the wife and maybe the kid. I think.
You think they're going to become a wolf,
Wolf
family
family?
at the
Yeah.
end?
Wolf Pack?
Harry and the Wolf Hendersons.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're all gonna learn to embrace Wolf and become Wolf.
Harry
I would like
Wolf
that.
Hendersons.
Don't think about it. It's not deep. Don't think too much on that one. Keep moving on. Carrying on. All right. What's our next movie?
All right, next movie is Presence, the new Steven Soderbergh horror movie. This one looks interesting. It seems like it's a sort of household horror movie.
The gimmick
know?
is that it's from the POV of the ghost
Yes,
haunting the
yes.
house. Soderbergh likes his gimmick movies. We talked about one of his recent his last ones years ago on the podcast, Unsane, which the gimmick of that one was the whole thing was shot on an iPhone, and I thought it fucking sucked.
It was fine.
I didn't see it.
I do see that this was, I keep forgetting about this, but you made a note here that it's written by David Koepp, who wrote
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
The movie script, obviously.
Yeah,
Crichton
yeah,
wrote
not
the
Crichton.
book.
And Mission
Movie script's
Impossible. And is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man too? Is that right? You have Spider-Man here.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Man,
Yeah,
that's a hell of a track record.
yeah.
I saw you
screenwriter.
linked the trailer. I did not watch it.
They've played it in the theaters before movies we've seen.
I don't remember it. So might as well have not seen it.
You know you handicap yourself by not watching these trailers for the predictions.
I don't care. I'd rather, again, I try to avoid trailers. You know, we see them in the movie theater, but I don't. I like to just watch the movie. I
You
like
let
to-
them breeze past
Yeah,
you.
most trailers suck anyway. Like,
That's not true.
yeah, I'm curious.
Especially this year in 2024, we had a number of phenomenal trailers. The First Omen, Longlegs, Strange Darling, The Substance, great trailer.
Yeah. What'd you say on box office, Cleve?
I said 8 mil.
I said 3 mil.
That's probably
I'm
accurate.
right in the middle. 6 million.
Okay.
I think it'll do fine.
Soderbergh's
I think it's kind of niche inherently.
Soderbergh is a big enough name that I think it has some pull, but like this type of movie, I think is more niche than like your
I could see it,
Ocean's.
you know, with
movies.
David Koepp writing, I could see it getting word of mouth, but again, like that's not an opening weekend thing per se.
Sure, that's fair.
Critics. I said 89.
I said 84. I think critics will like this one. This seems like a critically acclaimed style film.
Yeah, the title alone says kind of thinky, so I think critics will like it. So I put 95.
Audience score. I said 75.
I also said 75.
I said 60.
I think that's probably, yeah.
I think audiences are not going to... I think general audiences are going to struggle with this one. Yeah. I'll hold off on that a little bit because that's sort of what my predict one thing about the movie is about, but I do have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I almost wonder if like the wider audience won't even engaged
it.
and go see it. So it might be a self-selection.
Yeah,
Of thing.
I don't know. Okay, I will say, I think that there is in sort of like the modern technological world we live in, I think a lot of people have kind of this weird fascination with POV. I think you see a lot of that, like TikTok. A lot of TikTok stuff uses it wrong, where it's like POV when such and such, and it's the person's face, which is not their point of view.
Yeah.
But like that kind of stuff, you know, like like VR porn and shit like that.
I'm not speaking from personal experience, but
I think there's something sort of liminal too about like the household setting, the poster especially, but the trailer to an extent as well remind me a bit of like House of Leaves,
a little bit,
in terms of like the horror of your living
the space,
and I think they could do interesting stuff with that, but we'll see how widespread that popularity is. For my general
how many weeks will it be in theaters?
Oh, weekends in theaters. I said 2.
3.
Not very long, but
niche.
Standard number of weeks. And predict one thing about the movie. What you got, Ben?
I said there won't be any kills in this movie.
I think that's a pretty safe bet, actually. Going kind of off of that, mine is a little bit longer, but I said, despite being marketed as a horror movie, this will be light on scares and will actually turn out to be a slow, deliberately paced meditation on grief and death that will be critically beloved, but general audiences will find abysmally boring.
I said basically the same thing. I said society is the real ghost.
That's the same thing.
Something about the movie.
I predicted the theme will be about society being the real ghost.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair prediction. I think that's a fair enough prediction.
The theme. That's my prediction. I also, in parentheses, said I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, I think that this movie is going to be a classic victim of its own marketing, because like the trailer, like not a whole lot happens, but you're getting all of these, the sort of like pull quotes of people being like, this will devastate you and then tear your soul apart, or it'll terrify you and then leave you feeling empty. And it's like I don't think any of that is true.
It'll leave you thinking about society.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's gonna be one of those kind of like slow, heady, like kind of meditative movies.
I'll probably like it.
I think I'll probably like it too, but I don't think most people will.
Yeah, I think they might be right in this case. I don't know. It's hard to say. The name alone could be great or kind of pretentious. Presence is kind of a...
Steven Soderbergh is kind of a pretentious person.
Yeah.
Insane.
That is outright pretentious.
That title sucks. He's also
pretense.
He's also like the only director who has ever dared to remake Tarkovsky. So I mean, I think that I don't hate the Solaris remake.
I've never seen it, but
with George
I've heard
Clooney.
it's decent.
It's
different. It's not Tarkovsky.
It's much more digestible for general audiences, and I think that there's that's a feat in and of itself to like take Tarkovsky and make it like more accessible, but also like I think you have to be pretty fucking full of yourself to be like, I'm gonna take one of Tarkovsky's most heady and philosophically dense films and I'm gonna make my own version of it starring George Clooney. Anyway.
Companion.
Yes, we've seen plenty of trailers for this one.
Yes, this I have and remember.
This is like a dating app for serial killers or psychos or something.
Yeah, which I never caught in the trailer. I don't know. I was kind of...
It seemed like Sophie Thatcher is like an android.
Is she? I didn't
Jack Quaid
catch that
put
at all.
her hand over the flame,
the candle, and it catches on fire. I just assumed that was like a vision.
It catches on fire, but we cut to her
something.
face and like she's holding back tears, like she's in pain, but she's forced to like not react or something.
I think it might be an android situation.
Okay. Did you put that in your additional prediction?
I
You should have.
I thought that was clear, but
yeah, no, I didn't get that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
This one comes out January 31st. It's got Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Gage, and some other people.
Pretty good cast.
Written and directed by Drew Hancock. What else has he done?
Uh,
They advertise this by the studio who did Barbarian.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
assumed it was the same director.
but it's not
No,
Zach
no.
Kreger.
Oh, shit.
No.
this is his first.
Oh, it's New Line Cinema.
It's a debut.
Okay.
It's his first credit.
shit.
Yeah.
That had a huge effect on my
It doesn't look bad though.
everything
I
else.
think it looks.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty.
Yeah, it
interesting.
seems like it has some of the same creative team as Barbarian. Like Zach Kreger produced it.
That's right. Okay, he was. I thought he was involved somehow.
Yeah. So yeah, box office. I predicted 10.5 mil.
7.
9.
Okay.
All in the
Pretty
same
tight
range.
spread,
Yeah.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes critics. I said 89.
I said 78.
I think critics are gonna like it a lot. I put 90.
I'm kind of just guessing on this one. I don't really know. This one's kind of hard for me to gauge. Like I see the trailer and it reminds me of things, but I also kind of like have a hard time getting a grasp on. It's a slick trailer, so it's
Yeah.
hard. It's kind of hard to tell what the movie really is.
Yeah, I just pulled it a few points down from Barbarian, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know, it's being marketed in a similar fashion. I think people tend to fall for those trappings.
Yeah, and
critics
it's
especially.
got like they literally invoke Barbarian in the trailer,
Yeah,
like
right.
by name. So I think that'll be enough to like draw some people. Maybe
Yeah.
I should have guessed higher opening weekend box office. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems like from the trailer there's sort of a comedy element to it.
Yeah,
Which I mean makes sense with
Barbarian
Zach
is.
Kreger,
Yeah, I
you
mean
know?
that's in Barbarian as well for sure.
For audience score I said 68.
It's at 70.
Oh, interesting. I said 83. I think this is going to be one where the audiences like it better than the critics.
Oh no shit.
I hope so. A little bit.
We'll see.
I think it's going to be in theaters for a minute too. I think I put 5 weeks.
I said 5 weeks as well.
I said 4 weeks, about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For miscellaneous predictions, I said Jack Quaid's character is going to be some kind of sex pervert.
Yeah, I mean, almost certainly. I said following a character death, there will be a punny one-liner that has something to do with swiping left.
Oh.
Oh God, I hope
Oh,
not.
I hope not too. But that is a really good prediction. Well, okay. Again, I thought this was the same director, but I guess like just this, you could just see this as like the studio learning the lessons. I said, here's hoping the right lessons were learned from Barbarian. Which I know it's kind of abstract, but I think still works. In that, you know, like I'm a little worried the twist will be too twisty. It'll feel a little bit too
M. Night
like,
Shyamalan
forced.
effect.
Yeah, it'll feel a little bit like too forced in being similar to Barbarian. I'm hoping there isn't, you know, that kind of those attributes described for the sake of, as opposed to just benefiting the piece of work
Yeah.
itself. What's next?
Next movie is Hard Eyes.
Oh yes,
This is one that I do not want to see, but,
not excited about it.
but our Patreon, our Discord voted for it, so
Yeah, I think the trailer looks kind of fun. I gotta say, it has a little bit of gore in it in the trailer from the get go.
yeah.
You have
I mean,
like a shot where it, tracks out through someone's head.
through the hole in their head, a la the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Yeah,
It's like one of the only like decently interesting things
Yeah.
about that movie. One of the only interesting creative decisions.
but Josh Rubin is directing it, which I don't know if you guys ever saw Werewolves Within. the
nope.
movie.
But it is on our Patreon picks list,
Okay.
so we might cover it at some
I
point.
thought it was a pretty fun movie. It's like a
I've seen
fun
it.
little murder mystery.
yeah, the murder mystery, small town, wintry.
The guy from Detroiters
With Sam.
Yeah,
Sam
Robert-
Richardson.
Sam Richardson. Yeah.
yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the same guy's directing this one, and Christopher Landon of Happy Death Day and Freaky is writing this
I
one.
did-
Which
that-
is a good sign.
That gives me some hope.
I love all those movies.
That definitely gives me some hope. I don't know, maybe it's just a bad trailer. It feels a little generic, and I know that like Christopher Landon's thing is sort of taking generic premises and putting like kind of a fun spin on them. So I'm hoping that that's the case here. But I don't know. I just I can't get past the fact that the killer's mask just looks like the Collector, but with big glow in the dark neon heart eyes instead.
Yeah, I
don't
have
know,
more
feels
on that in my miscellaneous
feels a little
prediction.
derivative.
Well, the
Yeah.
synopsis is when the Hard Eyes killer strikes Seattle, a pair of coworkers pulling overtime on Valentine's Day are mistaken for a couple by the elusive couple hunting killer. Now they must spend the most romantic night of the year running for their lives.
I should have put this for my prediction. I didn't, but I will go ahead and predict it now.
They fall in love
is
by
that
the
they
end.
will fall in love
course.
by the end of the movie.
I know it's be disappointed if
Yeah.
they didn't.
Box office, I said 8 mil.
I said 25 mil.
Oh wow.
It's a horror movie that is themed around a holiday which couples go to the movies for.
That's a good
And
point.
it is being released, I noticed, the weekend before Valentine's Day.
Very strategically, which is when you put it out.
But opening weekend is not Valentine's Day.
It's true.
that second weekend.
People are already ready to go out.
Anyway,
4 million.
I said 25 mil.
I said
it's
4. I
probably
went real
high.
low.
I said 8 mil.
So we will see who's
Yeah.
vindicated.
8 Mile's a different movie. Sorry. Carry on.
Live in a trailer park. Pretty dumb.
All right, what's your Rotten Tomatoes,
I'm
Ben?
trying to
Come.
get in front of
Give me-
the disses here. Rotten Tomatoes critics, I said 61.
I said 60.
I said 68.
Are you 61? Okay. What? Why not 60? What made you say 61 specifically, Ben? I want to know your fucking. What's your deal? What's your?
I think I looked at some similar movie and like subtracted 5 or 10. from
Okay.
it.
All right, you're a goober.
Because it's one higher than 60, Cleve. If he
Price
said
is right at me,
if he thought if
and
he
that's
thought it
why
was
I'm
gonna-
wondering. Yeah,
if he thought it was going to be 60, he would have said 60, but he
Yeah.
thinks it's going to be 61.
interesting. Yeah, it's like it's
And it's not that deep.
Audience rating
70.
75.
66.
I think this is also going to be one that the audiences like better than the critics.
Mm-hmm.
This is a crowd pleaser type horror movie.
Yeah, I mean,
As
unless
long
it's
as
completely mid.
as long as it's better than My Bloody Valentine 3D.
yeah.
Ugh.
That is one of the lowest bars that is possible to have, but
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I also said 3 weeks.
Yeah,
nice.
Universal.
Because it'll definitely, because Valentine's is its second weekend, and I think it'll probably have 1 week of tail after that, but
Yeah.
then it's going to be...
My prediction is, I think, very much in line with your concerns, Tease. I just put Terrifier 4.
Oh, jeez.
Because the trailer, it's that kind of violence leaning in.
I'm sorry, this movie looks like it's shot better than any of those Terrifier movies. I don't know if I'm going to piss some
How's
people
that a
off by saying
prediction for
that.
the movie?
That it's going to be structured like a Terrifier film.
Okay, so it's just gonna be gratuitous violence for the sake of it, or
Yes.
Okay.
The plot will be exclusively in service of it, etc. I'm very happy to be wrong. Like reading the premise,
I feel
and
like-
recognizing the writers. I think there.
Yeah,
will
I
be
feel
more
like Christopher
substance
Landon
than that.
is a bit better of a writer than that.
We'll see how it's interpreted, though.
I said there will be a greasy incel character set up as a red herring, but the killer will actually turn out to be a woman.
Okay.
Oh, I hope they don't do the thing where the mask comes off and it's a woman. Yeah,
That's what they're going to
right.
do. Before I made that prediction, I even went back and I watched the trailer again, and the killer is slight of frame. If it could definitely be a man, there's enough. They're wearing like a coat and like boots and stuff, so like it's ambiguous. But I looked at it as like that is not like a distinctly like masculine physique. So I think it's going to turn out to be a lady. Maybe a femcel. Maybe they'll combine. Maybe they'll combine
okay.
the
And
two.
hey, after Red Rooms, I'm here for more femcel movies.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
Don't try to live up to Red Room's hard
Yeah,
eyes.
no.
don't
Much
think it's-
different movie.
There's no world. There's
Much
no world.
different movie. Well, my prediction was, it's a Christopher Landon movie. Christopher Landon loves his gimmicks. I think this is going to fit nicely in the subgenre of a single bad night sort of story.
Sure.
A one bad night in the realm of, Miracle Mile or After Hours.
Well, it's
or...
set on Valentine's Day, so we know it's going to be one bad night. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
but
one
it
day.
could
If
be.
it's anything like Miracle Mile, that'd be sick. I love that movie.
We'll see.
Yep.
I hope it's After Hours, but a slasher film.
Yeah. I want to see things go comically wrong for these two people. Okay, next movie is The Monkey.
The Minky.
Our boy Oz Perkins is back already. They announced this movie before Longlegs even came
Yeah.
out. It was crazy. We have been seeing a lot of trailers for it though. It's based on the Stephen King short story Monkey Shines.
No, it's not. It is not based on Monkey Shines.
It's based on the Stephen King short story,
The Monkey. Monkey
That's
Shines
different?
is a different film. Yes, I've looked this up. I'll
Whoa,
triple
shit.
check.
I mean, I believe you.
Yeah. It is not based on Monkey Shines.
That is also a Stephen King short story, isn't it? Though?
And a film, an adapted film that is a banger, and I would highly recommend. Monkey Shines is a delight.
So wait,
entirely different premise.
So Stephen King.
This is not a Monkey Shines remake.
Stephen King wrote 2 short stories, one called The Monkey and one called Monkey Shines.
Monkey Shines is about
What was he
an
cooking?
actual monkey. The Monkey is about a haunted monkey toy.
A cursed wind-up monkey.
Monkey, that we see in the trailer. No, Monkey Shines is about a very living monkey. Also, it shines like The Shining. It's like a psychic.
Oh my god! Is that why it's called Monkey
Bro,
Shines?
watch the movie. It's sick. I might pick it at some point.
It's called Monkey Shines because it's about a monkey that has the shining.
And yes, it's
George
awesome.
Romero made the movie, and infamously, he was very drunk throughout the entire production.
Where has this
The monkey
been my
was going
entire
crazy
life?
on set. It was apparently like horrible to shoot. The main character's in a wheelchair most of the time too. He's like wheeling around a wheelchair. There's a monkey going crazy. It's sick.
That
Highly
sounds
recommend it.
amazing.
It's so good. It's great. Yeah, you can watch Monkey Shines.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
What are we talking about? The
The
monkey?
Monkey, which is not Monkey Shines.
Okay, well, I wish it was.
Me too. I would actually love to see an Oz Perkins Monkey Shines, but this looks great too.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
it looks fun.
I'm like Oz Perkins is obviously capable of making mid stuff. See Gretel and Hansel, but I don't know. I'm riding high on long legs.
I like that this feels like it's going to be so tonally different than
Yes.
the rest of his filmography.
That being said, I do think Longlegs is underappreciated as a black comedy.
Sure.
Especially the more times I've seen that movie, I think that movie has a great sense of humor that confuses people enough that they think that these are like bad decisions when I think that all of it is very intentional. So I'm excited to see what Oz Perkins does where he can like really lay that on heavy. You know what I mean? Which the trailer certainly looks like it's doing.
Yeah, and I like the cast. It's Theo James and Elijah Wood.
God, I love Elijah Wood.
And I did look it up. Right. There is another correction we have to make.
Uh-oh.
I did look it up, and The Monkey, the movie we are talking about, was a Stephen King short called The Monkey of the same name. Yep. Monkey Shines was not written by Stephen King. It's written by Michael Stewart.
Okay.
So,
know
full
who that is.
But what it is, the confusion there to me is George Romero. That's where I made the Stephen King connection there.
Oh, yeah, because with Creep Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
okay, that makes sense.
Monkey Shines is not written.
Okay, so
it's written
Stephen
by...
King is not writing multiple monkey stories.
He's not. Yeah, that's the correction.
That's kind of disappointing.
Frankly, yeah. But hey, go whatever, check it out or not. So opening weekend, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
so,
don't you start, please?
I went with 21 mil.
20 mil.
I said 16 mil.
Damn, I'm sandwiched.
Yeah, I think it's coming out close enough to Longlegs that it's got sort of a pre-built.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly,
cycle.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they announced it prior to Longlegs even coming out, because they knew
they had. Yeah.
It's like they knew they had hooked people with the Longlegs marketing gimmick, and they knew they were building hype for it. So they were like, by the way, in less than a year, you're getting another movie from us.
And they had the full trailer, and was it for Longlegs? It was around that time.
They didn't have the full trailer. They had a basically title card only teaser.
But there has been a full trailer since.
Yeah.
Since then, but before Longlegs,
Too long after Longlegs.
before Longlegs, I think we only started getting full trailers for this movie about 2 months ago. Okay. But I remember before Longlegs even came out, we had like a title card only teaser that was playing in theaters.
It showed the toy monkey and then a shot of Theo James covered in blood.
Yeah,
Those
I guess
were
that's
the only
right.
two
Yeah,
real
that's
things.
Yeah.
and it was like from the writer and director of Longlegs
Yeah.
before we even knew what that meant, really.
Yeah, but this looks super fun. I hope it does well at the box office.
Yeah,
Critics, I said 91.
I said 90.
So, I have a complex thing, and this can go into the audience one as well. But this is my thought across the whole board, right? This is also, I guess it's also kind of my prediction, but like I think that this movie, going off of the trailer, is going to be a lot more base than Longlegs is. It's going to be a lot more of a literal, goofy, fun film.
Sure.
And because of that, I think that critics are going to bounce off of it wanting more Longlegs and something with more sustenance. So I put 72 for critics.
Okay.
But for the audience, I put 87. I think that for those same reasons, audiences are going to fucking love it. And, in quotes, they'll be right.
I said 85 for
See,
audience.
I said 88, and I think they'll be right if they're higher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll wait to see it. And I put 5 weeks for the theater.
I put 6.
I put 7.
Yeah, just
Long
based
legs
off of
had
long legs
a lot
alone.
of legs.
Yeah.
They were very long.
Long legs had some long legs, bro. Yeah, he had some long legs.
I have an impromptu prediction. I bet, in the run up for this, they're gonna put out online. You can purchase little toy monkey dolls.
Do you think there will be a?
That feels like an A24 move, where this is a Neon movie.
I was gonna say, do you think there will be a pop
What?
like a novelty popcorn bucket that's like a monkey and you're eating out of the
The head.
out of the head?
Shit.
That's the novelty popcorn bucket thing has really taken off since the Dune 2 Shai Halluci thing.
Tat.
Yeah, it's a little tiresome at this point.
Yeah.
I think
I was tired of it from the jump personally, but yeah.
my prediction about this one is not like a crazy prediction. I just say Oz Perkins finally has a chance to get goofy with it, and he leans in hard.
That's pretty clear from the trailer, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's a safe bet from the trailer, but you never know that. Like I do think that like Longlegs' trailer kind of sold a sort of different tone than what it turned out to be. So you never know.
My prediction is someone's head is going to get smashed.
Do you think between a big pair of cymbals?
Ooh, that would be
that'd be
great.
sick.
I
If
don't
at some
care.
point the monkey gets really big and starts... I've never read the Stephen King story, so I don't
Or at
really
least like the
care
monkey
how it
slams at
happens.
cymbals and someone else's at the same time. Head gets
Yeah.
slammed. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Ooh, yeah.
My prediction is very similar to yours, Tease. I just said shit critics will be upset it's not the classy film Longlegs is. It will instead lean in. It will be lean in, wet fun with a capital F, quality schlock.
Capital wet.
Capital wet.
Capital wet. Capital wet fun.
Yep. Capital wet fun. Speaking of, what's our next movie?
Sinners.
Or maybe not speaking of. I don't.
Directed by Ryan Coogler, who
Coogler.
also directed Creed and Black Panther and Fruitvale Station.
Is this his first movie post Marvel?
Is this Coogler's first
My Coogler's is his first movie poops My language centers just broke down for a second. Is this his first movie post Marvel?
I think he did Creed after.
Black Panther was after the first Creed.
Didn't he direct?
Didn't he do Creed 3?
No.
No, Michael B. Jordan
B.
directed.
Jordan directed
That's right.
Three.
And he did a
Did he
great
do
job.
2?
Fucking love
Did
Creed 3.
Ryan Coogler do 2? Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Did he
I'll
do
look it
the
up.
Did he do the second Black Panther movie, or was that somebody else?
He did both Black Panther.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
So this is his first
it is
movie.
his first day out.
Post Moval.
Yeah.
That's our fucking
He
mind.
didn't direct Creed 2. He just directed the first
Okay.
one, it looks like. But yeah, this is like a
Period piece, like 20s, 30s, or no, I guess he's coming back from the war, so maybe it's like 50s, like Deep South, like vampire kind of movie.
Vampire Twins.
Vampire
Michael B.
Twins,
Jordan
yeah.
is playing like a dual role in it seems.
His accent in the trailer is ridiculous. I don't know if I can do a full movie of that.
I love
It's
ridiculous Southern
hilarious.
accents.
I don't know if I can do a full movie of that.
I'm a big fan
really,
when they get
really
all crazy
bad,
with it.
really bad Southern accents like fucking grate me for some reason.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
great.
know why.
It's great to me.
I don't know what to think about this one, honestly. The trailer doesn't look bad, and I like
I don't remember.
Ryan
the trailer.
Coogler generally, outside of like the Marvel stuff. But I don't know. I'm always kind of wary of those directors coming back from their Marvel tenure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
have
they're all
they
resting.
Wiped
Picked
off
up-
the slop.
Yeah, have they wiped off the slop? Have they picked up bad habits? Are they lazy now? You know, I don't know.
Well, I think this movie is going to do very well at the box office.
You think
I
so?
predicted 34 million.
Holy shit!
Big fucking spender.
Opposite end of the spectrum, I said 10 million.
I went even lower. I said 7.
I think that like Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan together have clout to bring out some people, but I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be the one. We'll see though.
It is a Warner Brothers movie, so they're gonna push it hard. So we'll see. For critics, I said 84.
I said 72.
I said 87. I think critics will like it.
Okay, a bit of a spread.
Okay. Audience, I said 88.
I said 78.
I don't think audiences will like it. I think it's going to be. I put 60.
Okay, all right, a
Pretty
decent
low.
spread there. We're kind of all over the place on this one. This should be interesting.
I think just like the worst people will flock for that one. 3 weeks in the theater.
4 weeks. I think these people are big enough names to get a month in the theater these days.
I said 6 weeks. I think this is going to be a hit with audiences. People love Michael B. Jordan.
That's true.
And, especially post-Creed, like, I think
Creed rules.
they're going to be signing up for this. I think it's going to be an audience-friendly film, too. Miscellaneous predictions. I said, it's a twin movie, so Michael B. Jordan has to kill and will kill Michael B. Jordan.
Based off the trailer, I'm guessing one of the brothers becomes a vampire, and that's going to be like the core like tension of the film is one has fallen to the night. I had kind of a cynical prediction on this one. I hope to be wrong, but mine was Ryan Coogler is free from Marvel jail, but not from its influences. Story and character will suffer in favor of empty spectacle.
I put it will do less than its budget, and the reasons will be blamed on superficial observations. Racism. Yeah, I that's what I think. I think that it's not going to do well, and they'll blame it on dumb shit as opposed to like, it's quality, like it's writing,
maybe,
or whatever else like that. I am for the record, I am very much rooting for it.
I think
Creed
Ben
to bits, and I would love to see the same people who handled like Creed so well handle a horror film.
Yeah, I think Ben has a pretty good point that this does sort of seem like a crowd pleasing type movie or an audience,
and they'll probably beat us out for it too.
I hope we get
I hope so
some
too.
Near Dark vibes with it. I think that would be really fun. Southern vampire.
Yeah, the twins, Southern vampire. Like also, what's the one with Brad Pitt? The memoirs of
Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire. There's that too. That's all very Louisiana core, and we'll see.
That's a Neil Jordan film, which I didn't realize. I didn't know what that meant when I was a child, and I loved it. And I went back and rewatched it pretty recently. And during the opening credits, I saw directed by Neil Jordan. I said, "Uh-oh!" I said, "Uh-oh!"
Can you give the context on that? I don't have it. What is
the film that I know of his that I know that you've seen that we covered on the podcast was Greta years ago. You remember that? Yeah. That's right. He's done several other movies that I really don't like. I really don't like The Crying Game. I feel like that's a hot take, but like
Greta is just a memory of not liking a movie at this point.
It's so forgettable.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, I barely remember anything about it, but I remember it has all of Neil Jordan's annoying tendencies that I don't like in his movies. And like, I loved Interview with the Vampire as a kid. Like, it got me like into Anne Rice and like vampires and shit like that and Underworld. But then I went back and rewatched it a few months ago. I'm like, it's not very good. Anyway.
Underworld.
What are we on? Are we moving on to the next
Until
one?
Dawn.
Yes, Until Dawn.
This is another one that I really don't want to see, but the Discord voted in favor of it.
They voted for our suffering.
And
I hope they hear that.
Much like you vote in the video game Until Dawn.
Yep.
Yes.
They also voted.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? They voted for us to trip in front of the killer on this. And I will remember it.
I have
like a BioWare game.
I have played Until Dawn. I like it.
Yeah.
I like those. What is the studio that does those?
Supermassive? No.
They did Man of Medan, and they did
The Quarry most
Yeah,
recently.
I know they do the Dark Pictures, but they have a different
Dark
name.
Pictures is what that series is called.
Yeah.
Right?
it's their creep show.
Yeah, this is just like, I don't know, man. Like, this is another one of those movies. Like, why are we doing this? Like, other than to capitalize on the success of a game, but the game is already so cinematic. Like, it's got at least one like well-known actor in it. Like, Rami Malek is in it. Like,
And Hayden Panettiere, isn't it, right?
I think so.
It is
It's been a
super
long
massive
time.
games. That's the
Supermassive.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Nice. Yeah, going off of what you were saying, Tease, about it being adapted, I fully agree. I think one of the big problems with adapting this game is that the game is already essentially an adaptation of slasher films into the video game medium, where you have
Kind
choice
of, yeah.
for storytelling.
Simulacrum of simulacrum.
And it is,
Yeah.
and now we are readapting it back out into this medium. And for that sake, I think the language of it will work fine. I think it'll be a fine movie to look at. I think it'll be decent to watch, but
The people
they're gonna have to do a different ending than any of the endings in the game.
The people involved in making it are what make me the most nervous. It's
Right.
written by Gary Dauberman, who wrote The Nun and the Salem's Lot remake, which was, if you listen to our end of the year results episode last week, my least favorite film of 2024. He also wrote the It remakes, which fine movies. I like those okay.
This is directed by David F. Sandberg
He did Lights Out and Annabelle Creation.
and
Yeah.
the Shazam movies.
Yeah,
I think
not
it's
much,
Shazam.
not much to be
Nightmare
excited about there.
Nightmare Blunt rotation between the two of them.
Frankly,
Yeah.
I agree, and that's incredible.
And the cast doesn't excite me either. Like, I like Peter Stormare as like a character actor, but I don't. I mean, it's just like,
You know,
I don't know, dude.
I'm gonna spoil my prediction, but I think there's one way they could cook with this movie and be something interesting and kind of innovative, is if they truly made it a choose your own adventure at the theaters.
How do they do that?
Have like little buttons that they pass out.
Oh,
the
so
movie.
and people vote
Yeah.
on the
yeah, they vote on what they want to see.
that would
Do
be
a Bandersnatch.
that would be a gimmick that I would enjoy participating in at the theater.
Yeah.
They're not going to do
Francis,
that.
yeah, Francis Ford Coppola wanted to do something like that with Megalopolis originally as
Yeah,
well.
where it has like AI and it's like
Even
during
before
the part
that,
where-
he wanted to do like change branching paths and stuff with audience votes. He had a lot of like really insane ideas that he couldn't really execute any of them.
I was watching an
Megalopolis.
old episode of Siskel and Ebert, and they were talking about this movie that came out in the 80s, where it was literally like a choose your own adventure type of movie. Apparently it was only like 30 minutes long, but they would play it twice so you could see two variations. And it was essentially going in as a disgruntled worker and picking ways to torture and kill your boss, essentially.
pretty rad.
That fucking rules. Yeah, well, I mean, I think to sort of piggyback off what Cleveland was saying, it's like these games are basically already choose your own adventure movies. They're horror movies with
basically, yeah.
with like player agency over the
They
story.
bring in like
so
A-list
it's like,
actors for them as well.
Yeah.
Like it's all they're trying to do, and so like they're just removing the agency from it in the adaptation, and I think that was the pull to begin with these stories. So yeah, I went pretty low. I think it's gonna be like 4 mil.
I said 6 mil, like middling. Like I think that the gamers will come out to see it,
I think
but
this has so much box office potential just because it has name recognition and the games are so cinematic that it'll probably do well at the box office. I actually said 19 mil.
wow, really? Okay. I would be surprised, but I guess we will see.
Critics, on the other hand, I don't think will like it as much.
40.
I said 40 exactly.
I said 60. Still not great. But
Yeah, I don't think audiences are gonna like this either.
30.
I said 52. Wait, wow, you think critics are gonna like this movie better than audiences will?
I don't know if I was cooking.
I don't think you were,
No,
but
I don't think
We're gonna
you
find
were-
out.
I don't think audiences are gonna like it either. But I think they will like it more than critics. I said 52.
Well, yeah, I think that like there's an opportunity for like review bombing here
Yeah.
on the audience side. I don't know. Maybe.
I said 64. You know, I feel like audiences can be somewhat charitable towards video game stuff, especially lately with Mario and Sonic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But also Borderlands.
That's true.
I think this film will be in theaters 1 week.
Huh? Put 3.
I put 3 as well.
1 week is really funny though. My prediction is also just
I already don't
video
think-
games. Everyone, it's going to land like Borderlands.
Yeah,
like,
I
I
already
think
don't-
it's going to land really terribly.
I already don't think this has much pull to begin with. I think it's going to have a pretty bad opening weekend.
field is not
and they're
fertile.
just going to pull it immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Clown in a Cornfield.
No. We still have to do our predict one thing about the movie.
Yeah, you said yours and moved on. Please.
Oh, that's the only one that matters. Clown in a Cornfield. I'm kidding. Oh, what do you guys got? Sorry.
I mean,
My
I
apologies.
said mine earlier, but if
Oh, yeah, that's
if
right.
they really cook with it and let you vote, even if it's just the ending,
Yeah.
That would
I mean,
be
that would be
fucking
fun.
sick.
That would be fun.
or do
I-
like a clue where there's like 9 different variations on the ending that they swap out each screening.
Oh, just write
Yeah.
your movie to like end the way it's set up to. I don't know, fucking silly.
Mine
silly
is just
gimmicks.
mine is kind of just basically what we've already been talking about. I said, how do you adapt an already cinematic video game that boasts 256 possible endings? The answer is badly. By trying to juggle the gravitas of story beats made possible by player agency, the story of the film will be messy and unsatisfying.
Video games, everyone.
Video games, everyone.
Video games.
All right, yes, moving on. Clown in a Cornfield.
Corn in a clown field.
This is an adaptation of a book that I have actually read.
You've read Clown in a Cornfield.
I've read
I knew one of my friends at some
I've
point.
read the first 2 Clown in a Cornfield.
These are pretty old, aren't they?
No, they're
they're
quite
pretty
they're
new.
quite
Recent.
recent.
Okay.
I think the third one came out this year, but the first one came out less than 4 years ago.
Are they corny?
So here's the thing that I did not realize until I purchased the first 2.
Okay.
They are YA books.
Oh,
The name, yeah.
Which is as an adult not something that I typically engage with, but again, I'd heard a lot of buzz about it, like in like horror Twitter. I'd see people be like, "Ooh, Clown in a Cornfield, Clown in a Cornfield." I'm like, okay, I'll check this out. They had like a bundle on Kindle, so I bought 2 of them, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is YA, and I read, and it's like, it's fine. It's as YA goes, it's not bad. Is it like intellectually stimulating? Not really. But it's also kind of pulp horror. I don't know. I did notice, I had to look it up on IMDb. Despite these being YA books, this is an R-rated movie.
interesting.
Kind of surprised. At least it's listed as R-rated on IMDb. By the time it comes out, maybe they'll decide against that, and it'll be one of those ones that they shot as R-rated but recut as PG-13. I was surprised to see this. But also, I guess in a lot of ways, the target audience for YA books these days is like people in their 30s.
Well, yeah. I mean, as the literacy rate continues to plummet,
it's true. Like I don't think young adults are actually reading much these days. I don't know.
kids these days. All right. Yeah.
Okay, Grandpa.
I said that's the joke. But also true. 12 million. I think it's gonna do pretty well.
I also said exactly 12 million.
Just
Wow. I said 5 million. I don't think
so you
this
don't
is gonna
need
do
me on
super
every
well.
episode anymore. You've already got it covered.
It's yeah.
You already-
This is I say it's a Shudder distributed film. It does come
Yeah.
out in May, so we're getting into to the summer season. We should also mention that it's directed by Eli Craig, who did like Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does bode.
So like that's decent.
Okay, here's my question for you, real quick.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, one of my favorite subversion genre films.
Sure.
Right? Like, I think it's probably just in general across the board, but I think it is like one of the best like killer subversion movies too. I really love like how it plays with the genre. It doesn't fuck around with a lot of that just happened. It's a pretty sincere critique and love letter at the same time. Do you think there is room for that in Clown in a Cornfield?
I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I don't think that I think Clown in a Cornfield narratively is pretty straightforward. But the whole crux of like the series is that it's kind of like it's a generational conflict story where like the small town, like rural Missouri, like the adults, the boomers, like they're stuck in the past while the kids be on their damn phone all the time. And so that there's that like clashing of cultures. And the second one is like,
That in the wrong hands,
the
it's
second
really
one is like
obnoxious.
very much like critiquing on like Trumpism and like that kind of stuff. So like I think that, and this is kind of getting into my like predict one thing about the movie, but like I think that this movie has potential to be like kind of annoying, obnoxiously preachy, depending on how much it leans into those themes.
Since you've read the material, I gotta ask: does it do what it says on the tin? Is there a clown in the cornfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a plus. I will say.
Like the killer is like the mascot of like the old defunct like corn syrup like processing plant that it has
cute.
like that is like the town's livelihood, but has since been shut down, and it's kind of like going into decline. So like somebody is dressing up like Friendo the clown, the mascot of the
Friendo?
corn. Yeah, his name is Friendo.
I like that.
It's like somebody's dressing up like Friendo the clown and is murdering teenagers who be on their phone too damn much. Like
Are the books funny?
no. I would not consider them funny.
Okay.
But in the
naming
hands
your
of like the people
mascot
who made
Friendo.
Tucker and Dale, like
Yeah.
maybe there's room.
Yeah, I mean it's they certainly have
He's
like
delightfully on the nose.
they're not like grimdark. Like they certainly have like a sense of lightheartedness to some degree, but I mean it's. I think the author is around our age, so it's one of those things where like it's kind of. I don't know, there's just like a lot of anxiety about like the uncertainty of like the American project, and it's like that's relatable and I get it, but it also it has a tendency to come across as kind of like reactionary and sort of like how hysterical it is. Like I don't think the book is too bad about that, but it does sort of like lean in that direction a little
Yeah.
bit.
Man, but
you
then
know?
again, Tucker and Dale, like that's the thing is like they understand like knee jerk. Like that movie is all about
Sure.
It's literally that. Like it's the repercussions of knee jerk.
Honestly,
Like-
I think this movie. I think this will be an easy book to adapt. I don't think that it is narratively complex or deep enough to be like difficult to adapt to the screen. I think it'll make a fine 1-to-1 adaptation. I think it will be at its best if it sticks to like gore and schlock. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
I think that's where it'll be its best. We will see. There's no trailer for this yet, so we have no idea what the tone's going to be. Rotten Tomatoes critics, I said 65.
I said
kind of hard to
45.
judge.
75.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to judge. For audience score, I said 75.
Oh, I think
think audiences will like
will,
this a little
will really
better.
like it. Like the ironic name, the like clowns are like everyone fucking loves a clown right now. Like 80. I think
Wow.
that audiences. Oh, also like YA, like that's very broad appeal.
Yeah.
No, it makes
I
sense.
said-
I'm surprised that they're going with an R rating for this one.
Yeah. I
Big
said
Terrifier
48
clown craze.
for audience. I don't
48,
think people
okay.
are gonna like this one. I think it's gonna be a kind of forgotten Shudder sort of.
I could see
deal.
it. It's it's kind of hard to judge, kind of hard to predict until we get a trailer. I'd see what the tone they're going with. I said it'll have 4 weeks in the theater.
I also said 4.
Yeah,
I said 2.
summertime.
Predictions, I rolled my eyes until I saw the writer-director. Does lightning strike twice? I don't know. Likely to do fine financially based on the novels following, but I probably won't like it.
Yeah, I said basically what I already said before. The generational conflict at the heart of the story will be clumsily handled and cringy.
I said there's gonna be a chase through a corn maze.
Well, you're just taking the safest bet.
There's not a corn maze, but one of the big set pieces in the book is like a high school party in the cornfield. So basically,
I would count that.
that's yeah. And who knows? Maybe they'll adapt it into a corn maze. Actually, hang on a second.
Is there a maze?
There is a corn maze.
Yes!
There's a corn maze. But I think in a subversion, I don't think anybody's chased through it. I think they sort of set it up
in
to
the
be.
book.
Yeah, we'll see. There is a corn
book.
maze in the book. There is a corn maze in the book.
28 years later.
Yes. 2 movies
Yeah, we've just got a
left.
couple more.
28 years later, directed by Danny Boyle, the third movie in the 28 blank later.
Once again, written by Alex Garland, though. They've got their cinematographer back.
They're shooting it on an iPhone.
Are they really?
Yeah. Have you seen the rig for the iPhone?
No.
It's one of the most...
But I've seen the trailer for the movie, and it looks great.
Yeah, I gotta pull up the rig because
I've seen
it's
it.
so ridiculous that it at the point they're at, it's like why even shoot
use
it?
the iPhone to begin with?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, iPhones have good cameras, so, like, you put it on a good rig with good lenses, it's like...
So stupid.
You can't even see the iPhone in the midst of everything else
Like
on the rig.
if you're shooting it on iPhone for like the cred, like you're not getting cred by gearing it the fuck up like
Yeah.
this. You might as well shoot it on a normal thing.
That feels like one of those things where, because like 28 Days Later was like one of those early films to be shot on like HD video.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of the notable like early like
and it
examples
added
of that.
to the aesthetic of the film.
And it feels like, you know, because 28 Weeks Later did not have Boyle and Garland's involvement. So it's like now that they've got the gang back together, it's like, well, the last one we shot on HD video, which nobody was really doing at the time. So now we got to shoot on something else that people aren't really, but except people have been shooting on iPhones for years now.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's like the gimmick isn't even
And
there.
again, it frustrates me because they're playing with that gimmick without like exploring what the form means, right? Like the first one does that well because like you're shooting on digital video, early digital, so it has the rawness to it, but they're also using like handheld cameras,
Right.
And it's more kinetic,
Right.
Whereas like with a fucking huge ass rig like that, you're not doing handheld with the iPhone.
But who knows, like, if every shot is like that, right? Like,
It's
we
true,
don't know. That's
we'll
just
see.
the one photograph you saw of the set. Like, that doesn't
Yeah, well,
necessarily reflect the
we've-
entirety of production.
We did just get a trailer for this, so like we know what the movie looks like aesthetically, and I mean, you couldn't tell that it's shot on an iPhone. It's a very
movie.
I mean, frankly, I had to after I saw the trailer, I had to check and see if it was the same cinematographer that Alex Garland always works with. It's not, but I was gonna say it just looks like an Alex Garland film, which I'm fine with. Like, I like his sense of visual style, or the cinematographer that he works with. But they did bring back the original cinematographer from the first one, so I don't know, man. Like, the notable thing about this one that we've seen is that they're inexplicably doing this as a trilogy for some reason, and this is just part one, but this is the only one written by Alex Garland and directed by Danny Boyle, from what I can tell,
To
which
me, that does not bode well.
that does not bode well at all. But I will say, speaking of slick trailers, this new trailer that just dropped, very good trailer.
I didn't watch
It's got me pretty hyped for it, I must say. It's got me feeling the hype.
Yeah. Well, that's on you, Cleve, for not watching it.
That is how that works. Yes,
Yeah.
that is how that works.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to, and I stand by it. Now
You're gonna see it.
I want to know.
It's a popular
Yeah, and I want to see it one time less. I don't. Yeah, again, for all the reasons I've said. It's also worth noting that the sequel to this movie is 28 Years Later, Part 2, The Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple.
Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I think we get a
I
glimpse
understand that
of-
all the boys are back in town, and I do appreciate the works of all these artists greatly, but like, I don't know, man. I'll
If they're
be
not
very pleasantly surprised.
if they're not involved in the sequels, how is the stupidity of the sequels their fault?
That it's setting up for it. Like, I don't know. It feels, the whole thing feels kind of weird to me.
I mean,
Like,
I think
why
that,
are we doing
I
it
think
at
the fact
all?
that it has to set up for a sequel does make me nervous about the story structure, that it can't just be like a self-contained thing or like a conclusion or whatever. I will say in the trailer, I think we get a glimpse of the Bone Temple. Pretty cool.
Bone temples are sick.
I like the phrase "the bone."
The Bone Temple,
I gotta
yeah.
say, it's a very stupid premise, but at the same time, I kind of want to let them cook.
Yeah, hey, Shoddy, you want to come back to the Bone Temple?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. They can make whatever they want. I'm not excited about it. I will, but I can always be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, in fairness, I don't really hold this series that sacred. Like, the first one's pretty good.
The first one's great.
Incredible,
the
yeah.
second one is not that
Is
great.
not that great. And, like, because of that, like, the bar isn't that high for me for this one.
No, and you know, it is one of those, it's like, I barely consider 28 Weeks Later like a thing. Like, that's such a forgettable movie
Yeah.
for me that, like, this might as well just be a 20 years later legacy sequel to the original, and it's like, that's always, like, who knows how it's gonna be. But I don't know, man. I like the creative partnership of Alex Garland and Danny Boyle. They typically do not let me down individually or together. I like Sunshine a lot too. So I don't know. I'm happy to see them back working together, and I hope they can recapture some of the magic. I think the trailer looks good, and I'm optimistic about this one. And I think it's going to be very successful at the box office.
Yeah?
I said 30 million.
28, I'm right behind you.
I said 12.
It's in the middle of the summer. It's releasing June 20th. And especially over the years, I think that this series has amassed more than just a cult following at this point. And I think based off of the reactions to the trailer online, I feel pretty good about my prediction. I think people are hype about this one. I think this is going to get people out to the theater, especially for like a big summer horror blockbuster. Like, this feels like it's filling that role this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it has kind of a cult appeal, but again, like, it's been so long, first off, and second off, the second one I don't feel like is ever talked about.
Yeah, but look at how successful Beetlejuice just was.
Yeah.
And that movie came out even longer
Yeah.
ago than 28 days later.
Yeah, but you get the family element with that one.
Sure, but I mean, this is appealing to a different crowd. But I think that
Legacy
I think the
films, yeah,
hype
it's
is I think the hype is there.
Pretty old tale.
Do you think it'll wipe away any last final lingering zombie fatigue general audiences have, and we'll get more zombie movies again?
I think, like, it's a matter of there will always be zombie films. I don't think there'll ever be, like, a wave of zombie films and art and games and stuff like there was of the 2000s.
I mean, I think there's already,
But-
like, in the last few
Yeah,
years,
there'll always be like
zombies-
there'll always be like room for like zombie, just zombies as a genre. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think zombies sort of come and go in waves, and I think
Yeah.
we've been sort of at the tail end of waning of zombies.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, The Last of Us absolutely fucking, like, the show went off. You know, like,
That's
it was
true.
incredibly popular. Like, I don't think that I don't think that zombie fatigue is a thing anymore. I will say, but I don't think that means it's ever going to reach the same level of like, oh, everything has zombies in it. That, you know,
I mean,
did
The
in
Walking
2000s.
Dead fatigue is for sure real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, that's just
Like-
because a show can only last
I-
a million years.
And I think that did sort of like make people tired of zombies.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
there's, but I mean, I think that if this is successful, if this is done well, if it makes good money, I think that it will reinvigorate studio interest in zombie films. Whether we get good ones out of that or whether audiences want that or not remains to be seen. But like, if this kind of movie is like successful at the box office, studios are going to be like, yes, zombies are back. Let's fucking go. Go, 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 go. Let's remake Dawn of the Dead again immediately.
But also, we don't have any money, so figure it out.
Who should remake Dawn of the Dead?
No one.
For the second time. Baz Luhrmann.
Oh,
God, I wish we were a visual medium right now. The look on my face that you got out of that, Jesus Christ. Okay, gun to my head. Like, who remakes it? Fuck. Yeah, someone ridiculous is more fun. Baz Luhrmann actually is a really fun answer. I think that's probably the right call.
Gaspar, no.
Ooh, okay.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but anyway, tomato meter critics, I put 75.
I said 86.
I said 83.
I think critics will like this one. I think the critics are hyped for this one too.
They like Danny Boyle generally.
Yeah. I for the audience one, I said 90. I think the audiences are going to like this one.
I put 75 again.
It also has potential to disappoint though. So who
I said
knows?
78. Right in the middle.
Continuing the trend, maybe an overestimation. I think this is going to have a long tail because I think it's going to be successful. I said 8 weeks. I think it's going to be
8 weeks. I
I think it's going to be
4.
2 months in the theaters.
I said 4 as well. You know, especially with summer, there's a lot of movies coming out.
It's true. It has a lot to compete with, but if it does well, if it keeps people coming back, then it could have a long tail. But we'll see. Predict one thing. I said, despite top billing, Cillian Murphy will barely be in this movie. Either he's dead and will show up as a zombie, or he'll show up at the very, very end to set up for the next installment.
Okay. I said there's going to be a big cliffhanger in the Bone Temple. It's going to explain that the Rage virus is actually a bone virus.
Whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit, a bone virus?
Yeah.
I just wrote "suck my bone temple."
That's not a
That's
prediction.
not a prediction.
The prediction is I won't like it,
Okay.
and that it'll be bad, and that we won't. But yeah. That's what I'll leave it at that.
I think you'll
suck
be-
my bone temple. I don't.
I think you'll
fucking
be.
care.
I think you'll be sucking your own bone temple come June 20th.
And
my
you know
man.
what? Dope. At least my bone temple's getting sucked.
That's my secondary
You know?
prediction: is Cleveland will be sucking his own bone temple over this one.
Hell yeah.
Catch us in 7-ish months. All right, our last one, the long anticipated Mathregan 2.0. Matugan.
yeah. We're just sharing the same fucking brain.
Blumpkin House is back
Yeah.
with a sequel to the sort of surprise hit of 2022? 3? Did that come out last year? 2023?
No, 2022.
2022?
Yeah.
2022. Jeez, has been that long. Okay, yeah. The hotly anticipated sequel to smash hit Mathregan. It's written by Akilah Cooper again, who did the last one, and Malignant, and directed by Gerard Johnstone, who also directed the last one. And it's got a lot of the same people coming back.
Which one is Violet McGraw? Is a really good name. Is that a relation to Tim McGraw?
I couldn't
know.
tell you.
Or Krav
I doubt
McGraw?
it. Yes, Krav McGraw. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
The Israeli martial art Krav McGraw.
Country fighting. Krav McGraw. All right, anyway, yeah, box office. What are you?
I said 35 million.
I said 25.
The first one did very well
It
at the
did
box
do
office.
very well.
It
I
did
said
very
26
well.
mil.
And
Right
I
in the
think
middle.
that this will be a case where
we keep doing that.
yeah. I think this will be a case where it actually does better than the original because people are more excited because of how much they love the original. The Smile 2 effect.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Tomato meter.
I said 88.
I said 83.
87. Quit fucking doing that to me.
You're doing it to me. The other way. Yeah. You predicted last.
Yeah, but I couldn't see yours.
Yeah. And
You could feel them,
I couldn't
though.
see-
I
You're-
can feel them. That's right. All right, audience, I put 74.
I said 75.
I said 73.
Cleveland's
Again,
not getting that one.
look,
Unless
here-
he gets it spot on.
Here's the thing. God damn it. Here's the thing. I think, again, if there was ever a sign that, we are going to be okay, it's, just how close I've been to both of y'all's predictions across the board on this,
Yeah,
right?
we just live in each other's brains.
Yeah, honestly, we're... Yeah, man. If I'm not here every episode, that's gonna be okay.
Did you say
guys...
4 weekends in theaters?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, fucking right there.
I said 6. I
Okay.
said 6. I think this will get a month and a half.
I'm glad I didn't say 5, so I wasn't between y'all again at least.
Predictions?
Okay, yeah. This is actually my works here. I said, much like Smile 2, I will likely enjoy this more than the decent original.
Okay.
I think they're going to take
Could
their
be.
budget and much like
push
Smile
it.
2, they're going to push it. They're going to lean in and they're going to go Gremlins with it.
Man, one thing that I didn't check that I would love to see is the first one we noted was shot as R-rated and then cut down to PG-13.
I did see the R-rated cut.
I would
Not much change.
Yeah, you said you get more of the kill where she power washes the lady to death, right? Which is cool.
Yeah, the ear pulling, stuff like that. We just see a little bit more of it. The end is largely the same, which was kind of an unfortunate surprise. But
I hope that they push an R rating with this one. I don't know if they will,
me too.
but I would love to see them take everything and push it farther. My prediction was
I'm hoping. I think they will.
Mithrigan will actually be the good guy in this movie, fighting an even more evil robot, T2 style.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that
Man,
would
I
be
hope you're
really
right.
sick.
Yeah.
I said there's going to be multiple Mithrigan dolls, and they will have a synchronized dance. You know how she does the
Ooh,
dance in
yeah.
the first
There'll
one?
be more.
Since it's a sequel, yeah. They're going to have a whole army of dancing.
I'm with it.
Maybe we can both be right, and she is the good guy, and there is an evil Mithrigan, and they have a dance battle
Ooh,
that'd
I
be
could
sick.
see that
where
happening.
they're like
choreographed.
fighting, and they're like fighting and dancing simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Funny actually mentioning this. I think we have a second. We've been
Yeah,
making
we got a
we've
second.
been at a good clip. I was painting and I was hanging out with some friends, so I kind of listened along while they watched the new Megan Fox movie on Netflix, where it's basically Mithrigan, but it's with her.
Mithrigan Fox.
Yeah, Mithrigan Fox. And it was bad. Like, of
No
course.
shit.
Yeah, what a surprise. Again, I didn't give it my full attention, but it's like, imagine Mithrigan, but like without so much of like the quality context. And instead of the cool doll, it's just literally Megan Fox. And I'm not sure if you've seen Megan Fox recently, but she's had a lot of work done, and she
Yes.
just looks like she's been stung by a bunch of bees.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, it's really not good. To the point where like there's like I think a decent amount to talk about. I'm not going to get into, but like yeah,
Save
that
it
was
for your pick.
hell no, hell no.
Yeah, let's cover it on the
I
pod.
would
Let's go.
never. Not that movie.
What is it
It's like-
called?
It's Netflixy enough. Honestly, couldn't tell you.
Okay, I don't really care that much.
I
I'm just
think
wondering if it has a...
Subservience or something like that. It's something really stupid. But she plays like the robot maid who's like hot, and for some like, and the husband, his wife is like in the hospital and like waiting for a heart transplant, and the whole time like the Megan Fox robot is trying to fuck him, and he's like. It gets kind of fucked up.
Better title for it, Sex Machina.
Sex Machina is a much better title for it.
I like the idea that the second he dropped off his wife at the hospital, he went on Amazon or Temu or whatever and was like, sexy maid
Bro,
robot.
that's kind of what happened. Like, that's not too far from it. He's at like the sci-fi version of like the Elon Musk Expo where they have all the robot replacements, except they're actually robots, unlike the Elon Musk one where it's a bunch of dudes on walkie-talkies. And like he gets a Mithrigan so he can get help around the house while his wife is out. And yeah, and then the robot starts trying to fuck. I don't know why the fucking robot maid is equipped with like a fucking pussy, but like she is.
Oh, you know why.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
movie, yeah, and like
Because
it seemed
why
like it was supposed to
wouldn't
be
she?
like Megan Fox's like attempt to like get back into like the style. Weird way to do it. Like just B movie ass B movie. I can't recommend it.
What if a few years from now we get a Freddy vs. Jason style crossover, but it's Mithrigan versus a Freyide?
Oh, there you go.
Oh god, I could see them doing that too. Put AI in the villainous
whatever.
doll.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever. I did see two additional things about this movie. One thing I'm going to keep because apparently it's setting up for a third movie already, but
Yeah.
it's plot spoiler adjacent. Which
Okay.
I'll save. But I think we might be on the right track.
Good,
Um,
good.
But I also, when I pulled up IMDb a second ago, I saw that Jermaine Clement was added to the cast.
Oh, that's a pleasant
Of
surprise. Flight of the Conchords?
Of Mithrigan 2.0.
yeah.
Mithrigan.
Yeah, that
Fuck yeah.
that does bode well.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I love Jermaine Clement.
So we had I see you gave us we had some bonus questions
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
bonus round.
That'll be bonuses. We have
Yeah.
4 bonus questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I this is pretty dumb, but like when we got to these, they're mostly just like like, what do you think is which movie is like the most such and such? And it's like, I had already forgotten what I had predicted.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I didn't bother going back.
So there could be full on contradictions here. But why don't you give us the first one?
Of the movies predicted, which will do the best at the box office? I said Sinners.
So I don't remember which one I predicted the highest. I think it was Mithrigan 2.0.
I got to this page and I was like, oh shit.
You see, I forgot what I said, but
me too.
But here I said 28 years later.
I also said 28. Well, I specifically said 28 Queers Gator.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a movie. That's not a movie that we're covering on the podcast. But
Well,
good prediction.
it's 28 days, or years, but I was being snarky.
Is that the gay zombie movie?
I wouldn't know.
28 Queers Gator.
28 Queers Gator. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to put in parentheses derogatory at the end.
Okay.
It should have a zombie gator
Explicitly clear.
in it.
Yeah, but it is, but a gay zombie gator. It's in drag.
Well, it's queer, right?
Yeah. 28 Queers Gator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
28 queers versus a gator.
Well, no, but the gator is also
now
gay.
we're
It's
cooking
spelled
here.
28 queers.
Queers.
28 Queers versus Gator. That's like that's an asylum movie.
But again,
if I've ever heard that.
I cannot emphasize enough. The gator has to be RuPaul'd up. Like, it's got to be a gay tour.
It's a
you know what?
yassified gator.
You know what? No,
Yeah.
I like it better if it's just 28 gays versus Gator. Just a regular alligator.
Run around screaming. All right, yeah, that's kind of funny too. I like it. All right, so that was mine. All right, and that's all of ours.
Yep. Of the movies predicted, which will get the highest Rotten Tomatoes critics rating? Tomato
Again,
meter.
not being able to skip back, I put the fancy ghost one. I think it's called Presents.
The fancy
Correct.
ghost one.
Yeah, there you go.
No, you were correct. I said the monkey.
I said the monkey as well.
See, that's what I put will get the highest Rotten Tomatoes audience rating.
For that, I put 28 years later.
For that, I said Sinners.
Oh, okay. You're really leaning on Sinners.
I think it'll be popular.
We shall
I don't
see.
know if we'll like it, but
We shall see whether you are
popular.
vindicated. And the last one,
Yeah, of the movies predicted, which will not release in the first half of 2025.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, due to rough screenings, possibly reshoots over Borderlands Fear.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I think you're right. I did not give elaboration, but
I think Sony will shit out whatever movie they feel like. If Morbius doesn't get delayed, then goddamn it.
But Kraven the Hunter has apparently been bombing with a capital B.
I think Morbius did get delayed.
Did it?
I think it did.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
bad
Those
screening.
might have been COVID delays, though.
yeah.
In
I said
fairness.
Cloud in a Cornfield. I
could
feel
see
like
that, too.
Shutter
Yeah.
dates are
No, it's a
never
good pick.
super firm.
I could see that too.
Yeah, oh man, how about that Kraven the Hunter though? Like,
Looks bad. Looks bad.
I'll tell you what though, it
wanna
looks
see
bad,
it.
but I do too. I don't think it looks anywhere near as bad as Madam Web, but folks are saying it's worse.
I like
which I don't know
JC
how.
Chandor a lot. The director is great.
I like the actress who plays Madam Web too. Like,
Most
it's
Violent
just,
Year is the fucking banger.
JC
movie.
Chandor.
Russell Crowe's the villain.
Yeah, A Most Violent Year is fantastic. J.C. Chandler's a good director, but whenever these good directors get roped into these fucking cape shit movies, they never deliver, pretty much.
Yeah.
Very, very, very rarely. And, like, I love A Most Violent Year, but, like, I do not think that Kraven the Hunter is going to be any good whatsoever. I saw like a little snippet of an interview with Aaron Taylor Johnson about it, and it was like somebody was standing off camera with like a loaded bazooka pointed directly at him. He's like, he's talking about, he's like, you could just see the pain in his eyes. He's like, like this isn't a superhero movie. This is a gangster film, and it's like you can just see in his eyes that he doesn't believe it at all.
The funniest bit of
It's
press
like, no,
I've
it's
seen
not. No, it's not. Shut the fuck up.
around this movie is I'm paraphrasing, but like he put out a quote saying like something along the lines of like, please don't expect this movie to be like Madam Web, and it's like the most pathetic. Like that's rough, man. Like you're
like before the
This
movie-
time
director
they'll
be like,
actually open
please
the Pepsi.
please give the movie a chance
Before
It's
the
like
movie
basically,
even comes out, they're begging you to please clap.
Yeah, man, that's rough. That's rough. But yeah, no, I am I'm really curious. Actually, again, like I'm a slut for like goofy Russell Crowe movies.
Well, I hope folks find this interesting because we are not covering Kraven the Hunter on the podcast.
Oh, but it's fun to talk about. You know, I think folks are interested in those sorts of things.
But yeah, those are our predictions for the first half of 2025.
Yeah, solid lineup, 10 movies. We'll be out and about at the cinema.
Yeah, out where we love to be.
movies.
At the movies. Yeah, well, I guess that'll bring us to the end of the episode. And if you like the show, you know, take to heart the stuff we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Consider joining the Patreon, patreon.com/podpeoplepod. Leave us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to this, a review, share an episode. Shout out to our honorary pod boys, Sam, Zach, Micah, and Mitchell. Sam yelled at me because I guess I forgot to shout out the pod boys on the Red Rooms episode a few weeks ago.
Just run it back.
Shout out to our honorary pod boys, Sam, Zach, Micah, and Mitchell. And Sam, I'm sorry.
Hey,
maybe
you got
maybe
two
we-
for the price of one.
What
here.
if
You got
what
two
if
for the
we
price
could
of
we
one.
can make up for it for the past and the future? Like after we finish the rest of the post amble, like let's just go out by just chanting their names
Yeah, okay.
You know,
yeah,
like-
that's how we'll
to summon their love.
Yeah, that's how we'll end the episode. But yeah, join the Patreon. Hopefully fun and exciting things coming in 2025, but things that will be exclusive to Patreon. So give us money. Yeah, you can also, of course, follow us on Letterboxd, Pod People Pod on there. You can find a list of all the films we've talked about on the show with our average ratings and links to those reviews. You know what? I'm gonna do a wild card recommendation. I was in Charlotte this last weekend with a buddy for his birthday, and we were partying. We were back at the hotel, and we were drunk. And we put fucking Dodgeball on Tubi, and you know what? That movie holds up surprisingly well.
Hell yeah!
I went into that movie expecting like this is my childhood right here, expecting it to be fucking trash. Still pretty funny. I laughed multiple times.
How nice of a feeling is it? Like it's a rare feeling, like visiting an aughts film and seeing it hold up.
Yeah,
right. Good
and it's
feeling.
like it is absolutely like such a product of its era. They've like very much do not make movies like that anymore. But I don't know, man. Like and definitely there's a number of things that are shall we consider off color. But I still thought it was very funny. So if you're of our age or older and you remember liking and you can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a balls.
I think the
Watch
youth are coming back
Dodgeball. It was
around
fun.
that era of movies too. It's been kind of interesting to see.
There was that weird Jennifer Lawrence like sex comedy that came out a couple of years ago that felt like a 2000s ass movie.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I never saw that, but I'm certainly down for like
where she's
Yeah, she like tackles her. Dude, it's great.
doing wrestling moves naked.
Yeah, the show was funny. What was the name of that? Sorry to no fucking.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
My recommendation is also a very nostalgic one. 2 nights ago, I watched Jingle All the Way for the first time. I know it's past the holidays,
Yo.
and the rest, but I'd never seen it, and I'm shocked I hadn't.
Maybe
How is
my
it? It's been
favorite
years.
Dude,
Christmas movie.
It's it has like all of the same like 90s veneer as Home Alone. And it's essentially just a live action Looney Tune.
Yeah,
starring Arnold.
I loved Jingle All the Way as a kid, but I haven't
holds
seen it in
up
years. Fantastic.
really well.
Honestly, it's one
Very
that
fun.
I watch almost every year.
I
around
get it,
Christmas
and I
time.
see why. And I watched with some friends who
Yeah.
said the same thing, and like I get it now. And
I
like,
love smarmy Phil Hartman.
holy
the
shit, you
neighbor.
understand why his wife shot him in the face in real life. Holy shit,
Christ.
like he is so schmarmy in that movie. Oh my god,
Hell yeah, dude.
Like-
Jingle All the Way.
yeah, Jingle All the Way is incredible.
Fuck yeah. What you
Loved
got,
it.
Ben?
Well, I found out recently that in the 70s and 80s, BBC did a yearly Christmas tradition where they would do a half-hour horror short film based on famous horror short stories.
Sick.
Oh, yeah.
Like stuff like
serious stuff like that.
Dickens or Poe or
When was it? When did they do this?
James in the 70s.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet it's sick.
So I watched one of them last week called The Signalman,
The M.R.
which is-
James story, right?
It's Dickens.
That's Dickens,
Charles
okay.
Dickens. It's a very Edgar Allan Poe-ass story. But the atmosphere is fantastic. It's surprisingly creepy for a TV movie.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely worth watching. It's only half an hour. I think it's on YouTube. It's on Shudder as well. I know that for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely worth checking out. It was fun.
I'll definitely
fun,
check that
light
out.
viewing for the holiday season.
Well, folks,
Fantastic.
thank you for listening. Gents, it has been an honor and a privilege recording the podcast in the same room as you for the last 6 years at least.
6 years.
6 years. And
And we have never, in those 6 years, almost 7 now, like, we haven't missed an episode.
we
each
have
week.
we've
Consistent.
not had a week where we've missed an episode in close to 7 years.
Planned ahead, doubled up.
And
all that
we're not
time.
planning on changing that.
That's correct.
Anytime soon. So we're going into some uncertainty this year, but also hopefully some exciting things planned. And thanks for listening, everybody. And we hope you stick with us into the next chapter of the show.
And to express our love to our Patreon members, I'm boiling my pot now. My big
Sam,
which is
Zach,
called-
Micah, Mitchell, Sam, Zach, Micah, Mitchell, Sam, Zach, Micah, Mitchell, Sam, Zach, Micah.